But we're talking about trusting through the darkness. There are some things that you have to learn how to trust God through the darkness, trust Him through the darkness. And perhaps you might feel like the bottom has fallen out of your life and you just don't know the why. But may I say this to you, that just because you're right with God doesn't mean that you'll always have the answers. Just because you're right with God doesn't mean that you'll always have the answers. And anybody who tells you that they have the answers all of the time is not being truthful with you. They don't have full disclosure. Even there are certain things that God hides even from the prophetic. Prophets can see sometimes clearly into the lives of other people, but they are blind to their own. It doesn't matter how much you can see out of your windshield of your future. And I know some people that live their life in their rearview mirror, the small thing that's showing them what's behind them, instead of the bigger thing, the windshield, which gives you a greater thing about what's going on. But in every vehicle, there is always a blind spot. And sometimes we get hurt by what's coming up in the blind spot that we didn't see coming. Sometimes the greatest accidents that derail our lives and that stun us because we didn't see this coming. Have you ever lived long enough yet to find something hitting you from the blind side that I never in a million years that I think that I would be divorced? Never in a million years that I think that this would happen to my child. Never in a million years would I have thought that I would have stooped to do thus and so. There are certain things that are in your blind spot. And you have to learn how to trust God through the darkness. Trust Him through the darkness. If you've been plunged into darkness, don't doubt what God has shown you in the light. Don't doubt what God has shown you in the light. Just remember His promises and remember His love for you. But never allow your circumstances to cause you to doubt God's unconditional, unfathomable love for you. Don't ever let that cause it to doubt it. Just because you're going through, realize that God still loves you. He still loved Jesus when He allowed Jesus to go through what He went through. Pour your heart out to Him and ask Him for strength to rely upon Him, even when you don't have the answers to the whys. Trust His heart when you cannot trace His hands. Just trust His heart when you cannot trace His hand.